To set up 86 box, we need a lot of resources to install Windows 98 on this actual 86 box program. First of all, you would need Microsoft Windows 98 2nd edition, and you would need the Intel chipsets 3.20.1008, and you would need to install the Voodoo 3000 graphics, and then you would need to install DirectX 8 for it. Now, to start up 86 box, you will definitely need to download 86 box. The latest version is 4.2.1, and then you would need to copy all of these, and then you want to go to 86 box, paste it here, and then it should copy all these things onto 86 box. Then you would want to go to 86 box manager, copy all of these, and then go to 86 box, which is located here, and then you want to paste it, replace it, and then you've now got 86 box manager located here. Now, you can't start up 86 box because 86 box could not find any usable ROM images. You would have to download a ROM set from the website, 86 box website. So after that, you download the ROMs. You would want to rename ROMs 4.0.1 to 4.2 ROMs only. And after that, you would want to copy it and then go to your 86 box, paste the ROMs in that location. And then once you get 86 box ROMs pasted onto the 86 box folder, you can start up 86 box. And then it should start up. Now after you start up the 86 box, next thing you'll want to go to is settings. You want to go settings, and then you want to change the machine type to slot 1 from 1997. And I'm going to set, say for example, not slot 1. I'm going to go for the slot 2 gigabyte, which is not exactly the one I want. And look up slot 1 and slot 2, which is probably not the one I want. So I'm going to go slot 1, and I'm going to set it to a gigabyte. Open 86 box. I'm going to go for the gigabyte one, which is probably not the best one to go for. So I'm going to look up the Open AX6BC, which I'm going to go for, and I'm going to set the 2 gigabytes to 256. And after that, I'm going to go to the Intel Pentium II, and I'm going to select the DirectX. Now, I know, so for people, if you were to run PCs built in 2025 or 2024, you would want to go for the higher CPU, but for me, I'm going to use the 266, which I think is easy to use because my PC is currently the i9 Intel Core i9, which is 3.2 GHz, which may not be fast enough. So I'm going to go for 266 GHz, MHZ. So then I'm going to go to display, and I'm going to change the video card to the 3DFX Voodoo 3000. Well, this is the graphics that I'm going to go for. And then we're going to have a look at Intel joystick, and I'm going to select standard PS/2 mouse. Click on it. And then I'm going to go to sound card, and I want to go for the Sound Blaster 32 plug and play for this one. I don't need to change anything. And then we're going to have a look at HD controller. I don't need the FD controller. I'm going to leave this to none. And then we're going to go to floppy and disk CD-ROM drives. And I'm going to set this to 35 inch and 1.44 meters. And then I'm going to set the second one to none. And then we're going to have a look at ATA. And I'm going to set it to 1.0. And I'm going to choose, now if you were to the, for example, the next CD-ROM drive, which I'm going to choose Toshiba CD-ROM, which I think is the best CD-ROM to use. I don't need these. And then checking other peripherals, which I don't need. And I don't need other removable devices. Well, that's all I'm going to choose for now. So anyways, we're going to go to hard disk, click new. And I'm going to go for a channel, which I don't need change now. I don't need, You could change channel anytime, but I'm going to leave it as 1.0. And to me, I'm going to choose, if you were running higher speed PCs, you can go 2072 00 RPM, which I don't want to change. So I'm going to leave it at RAM disk maximum speed, and you can customize. And then I'm going to look at the, and I'm going to leave it, choose dynamic size VHD for this one. You can always change the megabytes for the higher. To me, I'm going to customize this one. So I'm going to go for 30000, which is 30 gigabytes for Windows 98. And after that, I'm going to type in Win 98 20 30 gigabytes. After that, you want to click on Save, and then remember to partition and format the newly created drive, which I already have done. And after that, you want to click OK. Don't show this message again, and then click Save. And after that, you want to go to CD-ROM drive and load the Windows 98 image onto it. So we're going to go Windows 98 2nd edition. And after that, we're going to press Del to go to and go to BIOS features. I'm going to leave it set the boot sequence to CD-ROM instead, because it would load these. And after that, we're going to go to load turbo settings, hit yes, and then it would set everything to as it is now. And after that, you want to go plug and play, and then we're going to hit yes, and I'm going to set the resources controlled by to auto, because I do want plug and play enabled for it. And after that, we're going to go to integrated peripherals, and I'm going to disable the onboard serial port, because I don't really need these. And after that, we're going to save and exit setup, press Y, press F8 and F12, and then you want to change the full screen stretch to full screen stretch. And after that, we're going to press play, press Control Alt and page up. Don't show this message again, and then we're going to go on to full screen, and then it's building DMI pool, and then we're going to go boot from CD-ROM drive, start Windows 98 setup from CD-ROM, because this is the easier way to install the Windows 98. To continue with setup, we're going to press enter, configure unallocated disk space, which is recommended, and yes, we're going to enable large disk support. And after that, setup will restart your Windows 98 computer. And then we're going to boot from CD-ROM, start Windows 98 setup from CD-ROM. And then it's formatting drive C. If you were to, to me, if instead of running PC emulator, if you wanted 30 gigabytes or more, I would definitely recommend 86 box, because it's way better than in the PC emulator, which could take a longer time to format the drive C. But if with PC, the 86 box formatting drive C is much faster than in the 86 than in a PC emulator version 17. Well, hopefully we'll have a new version of Pierce. I am hoping in the future to do a tutorial on how to set up and install Windows Vista or Windows 7 on the PC emulator if version 18 was to come out soon with new drivers and graphics and CPU. And then hopefully it should be able to install Windows Vista and Windows 7 earlier. But I would want to do a tutorial on how you can install Windows Vista and Windows 7 on VMware Player or VirtualBox for those who want to play it games that way. And after that, we're on to the Windows 98 setup. Click continue. And the setup is preparing the Windows 98 setup wizard, which will guide you for the rest of the setup process as we continue to wait. And after that, you want to go to click next, because we're going to just install it on the Windows drive. And then we're waiting while setup prepares your Windows directory and verifies that your computer has enough disk space to install. And then we're going to go to custom, which is used for advanced users. So you want to go click on next. And then we're going to untick and tick accessories, tick desktop themes, and then we're going to tick multi-language support depending on which area you live in. And then we're going to go to multimedia, tick sample sounds, and then we're going to untick system tools. And again, I'm going to tick this again, click next. And then I'm going to give the computer name to PC emulator. And I'm going to call the description virtual. I'm going to call it a virtual machine. Click next. And then if you were to live outside of the US, you want to change it to different keyboards depending on which country you live in. Now, because I'm from the UK, I'm going to go British. Go to regional settings. Going to English British, which is the UK. Click next. Next. And then the Windows 98 will start copying all the files. So all you have to do now is to sit back and relax while Windows 98 installs on your 86 box. Now, during this automated installation progress, you'll learn about some of the enhancements to Windows 98 and a few of its exciting new features. After Windows 98 is installed, you would then be invited. And now it's doing the file copying progress, which could take about 5 to 10 minutes. So I'll see you after the file copy progress is just completed. Okay, so once Windows 98 has been installed, as it's getting up to 100% now, the file copy progress is now being completed. So you want to click restart now, and then wait for it to reboot. Press Del to enter setup. And then after that, we're going to go to BIOS feature setup, and I'm going to set this to C hard drive only. Save and exit setup, press yes, press enter. And after restarting it, the PC should restart. And then it's getting ready to run Windows 98 for the first time. And after that, I'm going to give the name, this called PCem tutorial. And then we're going to click next. I accept the agreement. Click next. And then the next step I have to do is to enter the Windows product key. Okay, now I've entered in the product key, and Windows 98 is now initializing its driver database. So with PC Emulator, you can, if you installed the 3DFX Voodoo 3000 or 2000 graphics card, you'd be able to play 2D and 3D accelerated games. But 3DFX Voodoo 3000 with Windows 98 or Windows Millennium Edition or XP is way better than the Voodoo 2000 on Windows 95. So Windows 98 is now setting up your hardware and any plug-and-play devices. And then Windows 98 is now detecting non-plug-and-play hardware in your computer, which may take a few minutes and cause your computer to stop working, but it's just standard progress. And it's 37% complete now, so Windows 98 has now finished detecting the scanning now of the non-plug-and-play devices and restarting the computer again. And it's rebooting Windows 98 now. And then we're on to the final step of the installation setup for Windows 98. And it's still now, and Windows 98 is now setting up your hardware and any plug-and-play devices that you may have. And now we're going to set the time zone to GMT, which is Greenwich Mean Time. Click apply, click OK. And Windows is now setting up control panel. And then it's setting up programs on the start menu. And now it's updating system settings now, which will complete in due course. So now we need to restart the computer. And after that, we're going to click on OK, because I don't really want the password. And then it's finding new hardware and is locating the software. Click next, next, next. And then it's searching for new driver, which is the floppy drive. And then again, click next, and then click finish. And it's updating system settings. And there you have it now. We've got Windows 98 now installed on your computer. And it's all working perfectly now. So guys, the next step we're going to do is the housekeeping. Just going to close it. We're going to first of all maintain the computer, do express, next, and when I finish we'll tick that. And now it's performing a maintenance, which will help to delete unnecessary files from the hard drive and check hard disk for errors, and then it should speed up most of your frequently used programs. So after we've completed the maintenance wizard, we'll do housekeeping while I shut down the emulator and we copy all the files to the Windows 98 hard drive before we launch the emulator again. Okay, so after that you want to copy everything, copy it, go to your hard drive, and then you want to type in setup files. Okay, and then we're going to paste all the files onto the setup files on the Windows 98 disk. After that, you want to eject. Okay, now we've done the housekeeping. I'm going to rename the hard drive to Windows, apply, click OK. And after that, we're going to go to setup files, and then we're going to install the Intel chipsets. And then we're going to install the Intel chipsets now. Software installation. Click next. Yes. Next. And then it's just installing the Intel chipsets. After that, click on finish and reboot the computer. And now we're back onto the Windows 98 setup. It's find new hardware found, and it's installing the Intel Pentium II processor to AGP controller. Find PCI ISA, and it's installing the Intel PCI to ISA bridge. PCI bridge has been found, and it's installing the Intel power management controller. PCI host bridge has been founded, and it's installing the Intel Pentium II processor to PCI bridge with GART support. PCI IDE controller is now getting installed, which is installing the PCI Busmaster IDE controller. PCI Universal Serial Bus has been founded, and it's installing the Intel CP PCI to USB Universal Host Controller. And there's an unknown device found. And Primary IDE controller has just been founded. And it's installing the secondary IDE controller. Unknown device. USB root hub. Do you want to restart? Yes, definitely we will restart Windows 98 to complete the installation. Okay. So, it's almost finished now. Now, it's installed the chipset. Next, we're going to install the device, which is going to go to iSetup, and we're going to install the 3DFX Voodoo 3000 graphics card now onto Windows 98. And it's preparing to install. Next. And then we're going to go, I accept the terms in the license agreement. And then click install. And then it's copying new files. And then it's just copying files for DirectX. Registering product. Click finish. Click yes. And of course the 3DFX Voodoo 3000 graphics has now just been installed. Bit of lag, you see, but and then we're going to go to overclock, which is located here. We're going to enable overclocking, and then we'll close it. And then we're going to go to the 3DFX and go to 3DFX overclock. Sync disabled. We're going to tick OpenGL, especially for playing OpenGL games to run more stable, and Direct 3D enabled. Click apply, then click OK. And after that, we're going to go to up. And we're going to go to install DirectX 8. Yes, we're going to install DirectX 8 on Windows 98. And it's searching for updated DirectX components and updating as necessary. So this may take a few minutes to install DirectX 8. And then you'll be able to run 3D accelerated games up until 2002 to 2003 for this emulator. And after that, DirectX has to restart the machine. And then it's please wait while Windows is building a driver information database. And then it's updating system settings. And now we've got the 3D acceleration graphics now installed. Now we're going to install the 3D Mark 2000. Yes, we're going to click next. And it's reading contents of package, which can take a while. And then it's extracting all the data. .hdr. And then it's doing the 3D Mark setup, which is preparing the installed shield wizard, which will guide you for the rest of the setup process. And then it's checking if it's got the latest, which it did, and then click yes, click next, next. And then it's copying program files and it's updating purchase later. I don't want to purchase it. And after that, and after we finish, click finish. And then you've now successfully installed Mad Onion, which is the 3D Mark 2000. So now I'm going to just delete the setup files because we've now got it all installed. And then I'm going to empty this from the recycle bin. And then we're going to right tick my computer, and then we're going to go to device manager, disk drives, and again we're going to go to generic ID disk, and then we're going to go to settings, tick DME, click OK, and then click close and restart the computer. Okay, so we're just testing out one of the 3D accelerated games, which is Disney's Aladdin in Nazira's Revenge. Just testing out the game, and it's all working perfectly. Don't want to save it now. And after that, we're going to just skip the cutscene, and we're just going to play the game as normal. We're just testing out one of the 3D acceleration games, and it's all working perfectly. And it's all working perfectly.
Al, you activated a Genie information.
And I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to set up Windows 98. And it'll be very useful to watch how this setup tutorial is done for the next Windows 98 setup tutorial. Okay, I hope you do find this tutorial. So what I'm going to do is change this to clouds. And I'm going to change it to clouds now. So after that, we're going to tick clouds. And I'm going to set it to stretch. And then I'm going to click apply, click OK. And it looks good. Windows 98 clouds looks better than the green screen. So for the next 86 box tutorial, I'm going to show you how to install Windows Millennium Edition. So see you guys, and I hope you do find this video tutorial very useful. So if you have any questions, please leave your comments below, like your videos, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Bye!